We on? Alright, hey, I'm Jake Tiefetzeler, and this is your Channel 69 News. Alright, first on the discussion today, we got two representatives for John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. They're going to be here to tell you the significance of their candidates and why you should vote for them. Before we begin, however, I'm going to show you the interesting topics we got going on this upcoming elections. First of all, we have the French Revolution in 1788. We have the XYZ Affair of 1797. We got the Alien and Sedition Act of 1798. Fourth, we have the Quasi War of...
Hey, it's quasi dumbass.
We have the Quasi War of 1798. And lastly, we have the issues that's going all over the nation of whether we should have state versus federal power. Alright, without further ado, let's get our two representatives. Alright, for our first representative of the night, we got John Adams, which is Nudie Aoki. Introducing Thomas Jefferson's representative, Django Bates. Where'd he go? First off in our discussion, we're going to talk to the candidates about this French Revolution intervention and how the country should act upon this. First of all, our first candidate is Mr. Aoki.
Oh, konnichiwa. John Adams had observed the coming of the French Revolution while living in France and Great Britain, and during the time he immediately realized its potential for terror and anarchy. He was quite skeptical of the whole situation. President Adams sought a peaceful solution. He wanted to resolve the situation in an honorable manner. He talked and argued and urged a military buildup, but his goal was to demonstrate American resolve, and he hoped to bring France to the bargaining table. It was clear that Adams wanted to avoid a war with France as much as possible. In late 1799, Napoleon signed the Treaty of Mortefontaine, which released the United States from its Revolutionary War alliance with France.
Good response, good response. Here's a cookie.
You get that? Thanks, man.
Django, do you have anything to say?
Well, Jefferson has served as U.S. Minister to the French earlier in his progression. He has taken a sympathetic yet cautious approach to this matter in that he supports the rebellion in terms of throwing out their king and wanting to implement a new rule. He is a very influential and key influence in the spark of revolutions present and future, evident in him aiding rebels by providing them a place to meet. However, he has not taken kindly to the excessive violence of the rebellion, proving him to be a sensible man.
Nice. Here's a cookie. Second off on our agenda, both sides are up at arms saying that if the other side wins, it will be the downfall of our country. What do you have to say about this, Mr. Aoki?
Well, many felt that Jefferson's victory would lead to the decline of our country. Federalists went as far as to say that Jefferson was an anti-Christian deist, and his views toward the French Revolution would result in much U.S. bloodshed and chaos throughout the country.
Good response. Here's a cookie. Do you have anything to respond, Mr. Django?
It is and has been established that the party under which Adams partakes in, the Federalists, with all due respect, are not well equipped to control the United States of America over the Democratic Republic. Contrary to belief, the Federalist Party cannot be considered as the descendant of pro-Constitution grouping because figures like Jefferson and Madison have also championed the Constitution. Jefferson feels that the Federalist view does not fit this nation in that power needs to be heavily invested in the states rather than central government.
Third on our agenda, Alien and Sedition Acts. What do they mean? What do you think about them?
Well, during the French Revolution, John Adams supported and signed the Alien and Sedition Acts. These acts appalled those such as Jefferson, but were supported by many others, including former President George Washington. Due to the potential threat of France, Adams' intentions of the Alien and Sedition Acts were to give more authority to the federal government in this particular situation.
Do you have anything to respond with that, Mr. Django?
Okay, we all know that the Alien Acts were passed to hurt the chances of the Democratic-Republican rise to power. The Federalists view foreigners as a threat to society because it is known that they are among the core supporters of our party, and the Federalists want them out so they can attempt to stay in power. These laws are all attempts at crippling our party, which is why Jefferson has taken action and has challenged federal law through the Virginia and Kentucky resolution. He led these states to ultimately reject federal laws in their states, which shows his outstanding ability to lead and make positive changes in the country.
Consumes a cookie.
Fam.
For our fourth item on the list, state versus federal government. What do you believe, Mr. Anarchy?
That's why you don't eat before. Oh, fuck. Anyway, Adam was a strong supporter of a stronger federal government. Although he supported a much stronger federal government, he also wanted to stay away from a corrupt government. Therefore, he highly supported checks and balances to make sure that the federal government would carry out laws in an orderly manner.
That does not deserve a cookie. We apologize, we're having some technical difficulties. I need help over here, he's too big. Now your turn, Mr. Django. Have anything to respond with? Take your time, take your time.
Okay, Jefferson firmly believes that power should be invested in the states because the federal government assumes too much power in this society. Just as I said moments ago, the Federalists challenged the Bill of Rights, freedom of speech to be more specific, by enacting the sedition law that made it illegal to protest against the government publicly. And of course, what happened? 20 or so Republican reporters, newspaper editors get arrested, and some even put in prison for public distrust of the Federalist Party. The federal government goes out of its way to impede the rights of the people they are supposed to be protecting, to not only damage the competition to the party, but also make sure all power in government is centralized at the national level.
That's blasphemy!
Strong words, strong words. Well, it's been a good night. Thank you for watching. Have a good night, San Diego. Stay classy.
Shout out to the peers.
Good job, gentlemen.
Thanks for this opportunity.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Good luck in the selection this year. May the best man win, Joe.
Where'd he go?
Oh! 僕ですね。どういたしまして。
Keep it on him, he done drop. And he be wildin', he's some hot.
name is Hakeem Prince. Jefferson set out to reverse the Federalist program to restore the federal government to its constitutional role, that is, protecting the Confederacy in its trade from foreign enemies and managing relations between the states, and to ensure that people of the states were left alone to regulate their own private pursuit in a state of freedom. He hoped to gradually break the alliance between the government and moneyed elite, which had already been forged by the Federalists. Aside from that, he was a main author of the Declaration of Independence. He secured adoption of Virginia's Statute of Religious Liberty and was the founding father of America and the University of Virginia. Jefferson for president.
How you doing? My name is Lil Chugga. That's what they call me. Adams is most well known for being aloof and stubborn, valuing his opinions over others. He rarely ever gave into public opinion, especially that which conflicted with his own principles. And he considered himself a natural aristocrat born for leadership due to superior reason and virtue. He was responsible for signing the largely unpopular Alien and Sedition Acts, which infringed on the rights of the people and their rights of speech. And he was responsible for the XYZ affairs, which didn't boil over well with America. Down with Adams. Vote for Jefferson.